Welcome to today's webinar on exploring business strategies and expanding to Hong Kong. Our presenters for today are Dominic Chan, Country Head, and Guy Min, Corporate Secretarial Director from InCorp Global Hong Kong. This will be followed by a Q&A segment, so please keep sending your questions in the questions tab. In case you face audio difficulties during the webinar, navigate to your audio tab, select computer audio. If already selected, please switch to no audio and reselect computer audio again. This will fix the issue. Also, the same link you received upon registering can be used for the rest of the webinar series. I'd now like to welcome our first speaker, Mr. Dominic Chan, to begin.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dominic Chan. Welcome to the InCorp webinar series. Today we are sharing, exploring business strategies and expanding to Hong Kong. I will share with you a general overview of the Hong Kong economy and opportunities. Then I will pass to my colleague Guy, who will be sharing with you what we can do for you in Hong Kong and how to incorporate a company in Hong Kong. Okay, this is the economic review of Hong Kong. Hong Kong economy is going through a difficult years, but still there will be potential out of gloom. For 2019 as a whole, GDP contracted by 1.2%, which is the first annual decline since 2009. As compared to the 2.9% growth in 2018. Domestic demand retreated in 2019, especially in the second half, when consumption related activities and economic sentiment were severely affected by the local social incidents. Export of services worsened visibly and registered the biggest annual decline on record, with the fall being particularly drastic in the second half of the year as the social unrest caused a severe setback in inbound tourism. The local stock market exhibited considerable volatility in 2019 as market sentiment swung along the abrupt changes in external and local situations. Consumer price inflation went up in 2019, primarily due to a sharp increase in pork prices amid reduced supply of fresh pork since May. Price pressure on other major consumer price index components were largely moderate. Underlying consumer price inflation climbed from an average of 2.6% in 2018 to 3% in 2019. Here is the economic forecast. Under the novel coronavirus outbreak in the first quarter of 2020, Hong Kong will be one of the hardest hit. Some researchers forecast that Hong Kong's economy will contract 3% this year, mostly because of the virus. But I'm sure you can aware that Hong Kong is actually doing exceptionally well in containing and controlling the virus outbreak. So our economic activities is resuming to normal. In terms of doing business and intellectual property, Hong Kong still has its advantages, namely the rule of law, the free mobility of capital, and easy entry to the market without barrier. In terms of GDP growth rate, to be forecast for Q2 of 2020. Hong Kong will be 2%, while the GDP will be 0.9% for South Korea, negative 4.2% for Japan, and negative 6.2% for Indonesia, respectively. So you can see that our forecast will be much better than the other Asian countries. Would there be opportunities to newcomers? I would say definitely yes. Hong Kong has been regarded as one of the most expensive cities for doing business. Because of this virus outbreak, the cost of startup, property price and rental expenses, operational cost has been going down. On the other hand, we see some governmental subsidies, funding for supporting small and medium enterprise, funding for supporting research and development, immense potential for expanding the business, the ease to establish a business relationship between mainland China and European countries under the trade war. We see these opportunities going up. In Hong Kong, the four key industries are trading and logistics, which include freight transport, freight forwarding, storage, postal, and courier services. Second, tourism, which include retail trade, accommodation services, food and beverage services, cross-boundary passenger transport services, and travel agency. Third, professional and producer services, legal and accounting, auditing, consultancy activities, information technology related services, advertising, and the last is financial services, which include banking, insurance, stock brokerage, asset management, and other financial services. You can see the importance of these four key industries. Altogether, they contribute more than $1,600 billion of value added to Hong Kong. And altogether, they employ more than 1.8 million employees in Hong Kong. You can see the distribution of value add among all these industries. The four key industries, as I mentioned, contribute more than 57% of the total value add in Hong Kong. And all the other industry, other than these four key industries, contribute about 43%. So you can see the importance of these four industries in Hong Kong. Talking about trading and logistics, the trading and logistics service industry is the largest among the four key industries in terms of both value add and employment, and it remained solid growth amid the vibrant regional trade flows. In 2018, Hong Kong was the world's seventh largest trading economy in goods. The cargo throughout Hong Kong International Airport amount to 5.1 million tons, ranked the first among all airports in the world. In fact, since 2010, it has surpassed Memphis International Airport to become the world's busiest airport by cargo traffic. That means since 2010, Hong Kong is the busiest airport in the world. In fact, the container port in Hong Kong is also one of the busiest in the world. Though it has been surpassed by Singapore, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Amsterdam, it is still one of the most busy container port in the world. Hong Kong as a hub in the Southeast Asia is always at the top priority being chosen for trading and logistics. Trading and transportation in Hong Kong are very competitive in terms of cost, speed, and facilities. The Port of Hong Kong, located by the South China Sea, also provides ideal conditions for berthing and the handling of all types of vessels. Tourism. The government continues to enhance Hong Kong's accessibility by visitors. Nationals from some 170 countries and territories may visit Hong Kong visa-free for periods ranging from 7 to 180 days. Under the coronavirus outbreak, Hong Kong bears the brunt of cities affected by the virus, but also currently one of the safest cities in the world. As I said, we have done an exceptional job in containing the virus, and our life has been resumed to normal almost nowadays. The Hong Kong government has taken measures to implement promotion and funding to get up of this hard time. From a hospitality perspective, the Hong Kong Tourism Board recently announced its recovery to be put into practice at the end of the pandemic. A three-phase plan to reinvigorate tourism by complementing the Hong Kong dollar 400 million funds allocated to support promotions and attract more tourists coming and consuming in Hong Kong. Professional and producer services. Hong Kong mostly preserves its own legal system developed under the British rule, distinct from the mainland China. The Hong Kong legal system is a common law one, based on a combination of English common law and the local legislation codified in the laws of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a well-established stock market for listing with freedom in operating business and a highly recognized professional. Restriction and limitation in business operation are loosened, but we highly focus on due diligence and professionalism, which are worldwide recognized. It includes our education and business environment, accounting system which follows international financial reporting standards, fundraising market, respectful financial regulatory. Hong Kong is an international financial market. In 2018, the market capitalization of Hong Kong stock market ranked number 3 in Asia and the 5th in the world. Hong Kong is one of the world's most active markets for initial public offerings. In fact, Hong Kong remained to be among top 3 IPO markets globally in 2020, raising Hong Kong dollar $260 billion. In fact, it is always the top 3 IPO market in the world for the past few years. The listing regulation reforms in April 2018 include a weighted voting rights and biotechnology listing regulation reform, have not only enhanced the diversification of Hong Kong's capital market, but laid an important foundation for Hong Kong IPO market. In terms of the sectors for going IPO in Hong Kong, the top 5 by number of IPOs are infrastructure, real estate. Number 1 is infrastructure and real estate. The second one is industrials. The third is technology, media, and telecoms. Number 4 is financial services. Number 4 is consumer markets. Number 5 is financial services. Foresee on Hong Kong IPOs. The COVID-19 outbreak has significantly affected local national and global market sentiment in virtually all sectors. But as I said, the Hong Kong situation has been doing exceptionally well, and we saw the IPO market is picking up in Hong Kong recently. For the past 2 weeks, a lot of news has been coming out. For those big technology company currently listing in US, they will return to Hong Kong for listing, for secondary listing or for relisting. The slow market activity will continue to affect the number of IPO listing and amount of fund raised. The economy will potentially be negatively impacted in the short term, but new strategies and ways of doing business could arise, such as the relisting of US listed company back to Hong Kong. The pandemic will trigger faster attention and action by governments and investors, and business will move forward with more innovation. The same is true for TMT companies amid an increasing reliance on services such as teleconferencing, virtual classrooms, and online trading platforms. Moreover, many biotech companies are listed in Hong Kong, which shows that Hong Kong is one of the preferable place for listing with its reliability, attractiveness, as well as huge potential of operating business. Regulation in Hong Kong. Hong Kong offers an exceptionally business-friendly environment with world-class regulatory organizations to ensure the protection of consumers and businesses by English law, common law. First, the company's ordinance. This includes timely disclosure and reporting of specified information about the company, its officers, and shareholders. 2. Inland Revenue Ordinance. Tax obligation of business operators and employers are clearly defined in this ordinance. Securities and Future Ordinance. To expand the Securities and Future Commission's regulatory function and powers for fostering an orderly securities and future markets, to protect investors and to help promote Hong Kong as an international financial center and a key financial market in China. Anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing ordinance. As a member of the Financial Action Task Force, Hong Kong implements recommendations promulgated by the intergovernment body to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. It set out the risk-based measures which firms and companies must put in place to detect and prevent money laundering. 5. The Personal Data Privacy Ordinance. It ensures an adequate level of data protection to retain its status as an international trading center and give effect to human rights treaty obligations. 6. The Competition Ordinance. It prohibits agreements and arrangements between undertakings that have the object or effect of preventing, restricting, or distorting competition in Hong Kong, particularly concerned with preventing cartel conduct. InCorp staff by experience and expertise can help and assist you in dealing with all these regulations. Route to Hong Kong market. Our strategic location. We strategically located at the heart of Asia, the gateways to mainland China. Travel to and from Hong Kong to Beijing, Shanghai, and other Asian cities can be within one day, in fact, just a few hours. Ease of doing business. Hong Kong has been always the top 3 cities that rank the easiest place to do business. No foreign ownership restriction on Hong Kong company. No restriction on business scope. No minimum share capital to be invested. Hong Kong has a simple and low tax system. The territorial source principle of taxation, tax is exempt for income not sourced in Hong Kong, which we call offshore income. Hong Kong had adopted a two-tier corporate tax rate system. For corporation, the two-tier tax rate is for accessible profit up to 2 million Hong Kong dollar, the tax rate is 8.25%, which I think is the lowest in the world. For any part of the accessible profit over 2 million, the tax rate is 16.5%, which is still a good low tax rate. For unincorporated business, the accessible profits up to 2 million is 7.5%. For accessible profits over 2 million, the tax rate is 15%. As I mentioned, Hong Kong has a very simple tax system. We have no VAT, GST tax. We have no import-export tax. We have no capital gain tax. We have no dividend interest tax. Clean governance. We have strict anti-corruption regime. The Independent Commission Against Corruption is set up to combat both public and private sector corruption. Stable with pro-business governance and free flow of information. Hong Kong has always been ranked the least corruption cities in the world. Sound legal environment. We have independent legal system which is separate from the mainland China, and we adopt English common law. Intellectual property protection is enforced, and with strict regulations for patent, copyrights, trademarks, and register designs. Free trade and free market economy. Hong Kong is a free port. There's no restriction on investment inwards or outwards. We have no foreign exchange control. And on the other hand, we have close relationship with mainland China, and we receive preferential treatment. For example, under the CEPA arrangement, all goods qualified as Hong Kong origin may be exported to the mainland China tariff-free. I would like to share with you the Hong Kong's opportunities. Hong Kong's privileges. One country, two system. Is Hong Kong. In Hong Kong will be a super connected between China and the world. Hong Kong is a major offshore R&D center. The advanced financial infrastructure, sound financial system, and market. China PRC has become the world's second economic superpower. As we mentioned, Hong Kong is a super connector between China and the world. With the increased economic power of China, Hong Kong will be beneficial. Our specialties and strength in professional services will support PRC entrepreneurs and capital to going out China. Regional hub for financial services. Hong Kong is strategically located in the center of Asia. Hong Kong has always been one of the most important financial center in the world, with abundant support of services providers, namely bankers, lawyers, CPAs, financial advisor, valuer, etc. Hong Kong is one of the world's most active IPO markets. Hong Kong is one of the most developed cities in PRC and the only one to adopt common law. Hong Kong is still a window to China. These are the government funding schemes at a glance. I'm not going to tell all the details, but you can see from the website for the details. We have the SME Export Funding Marketing Fund. We have the dedicated fund for on branding, upgrading, and domestic sales. We have Retail Technology Adoption Assistance Scheme for manpower demand management. Pilot Information Technology Development Matching Fund system for travel agents. Market Development Support Scheme. These are the government funding scheme that will be available for companies to apply. And our InCorp team can assist you with this application. Okay, I finished my part. I will pass to my colleague Guy to share with you what we can do for you in Hong Kong.
Okay, this is Guy, and maybe let me take some time to give you an overview of services in Hong Kong we are providing to you, and then you can know how to do a business in Hong Kong easily and how we can do it for you. Okay. As a company service provider, we are providing wide range of services to company. About company secretarial services, from incorporation to the registration and liquidation, from private company to listed company. These are what we can do every day. In order to protect clients' interests, we do registration of their trademark and patent not only in UK and in HK, but also in other countries. Some clients think outsourcing some functions to us is worth to do rather than having such kind of internal staff. Therefore, we help them prepare accounting, which can be monthly, quarterly, or annually. Depends on what you need. Some other tedious works like payroll, we have experienced staff to handle it, including to source provident fund agent, calculate salary amount, prepare payroll report, and also pay salary to staff and provident to agent. Tax is one of the significant matters every company must be dealing with. We have tax expertise to provide tax advisory service, from simple like completing and filing public tax return to complicated like offshore income claim. Our tax expertise is waiting for giving you an appropriate advice according to your situation. However, before doing business here, you may need to think about how to solve the entry problem, right? Therefore, having a Hong Kong visa is very important, which allows you to enter Hong Kong without any restriction as you wish. If you are a businessman going to run your business in Hong Kong, I think you need to keep staying in Hong Kong for maybe business purpose. Then we are able to assist you in applying for the entrepreneur visa. We are experienced in broad industries. Before your application, we can assess your situation and documents first to see the successful rate and how to increase the rates. If you are an overseas professional or you are going to hire an overseas professional for working in Hong Kong, then we are able to assist you in applying for the professional entry visa by assessing your work experience, academic and professional qualification. we will sort out your visa application and see the successful rate. This is long, but time is short. We welcome you to contact us from time to time to see if anything we can help you. Okay, from now on, maybe I can give you some quick guide about the setting up in Hong Kong, how to incorporate your company, how to get your company ready in Hong Kong for doing your own business. Whenever you want to do a business in Hong Kong, you can find it is very admirable and friendly because you can feel many advantages whether you are planning and also running your business in Hong Kong. From the table, you can check the key index of Hong Kong in terms of the doing business. The first things you can find is fast. It takes only 5 to 7 business days for incorporating a company limited by shares, which is the most common way in doing business in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is recognized as one of the most efficient places in the world, including our company's registry, which we are very proud of. Check the company name and we collect the information from you, prepare the documents you sign, and we submit the original documents. After our submission, your company will be incorporated officially in normally 5 to 7 business days. Taking advantages from our simple taxation system and low taxes and open trade policy, we are at the second place in the business environment rankings according to the Economist Intelligence Unit. There's an EIU. About the ease of starting a business, according to Doing Business 2020 issued by the World Bank Group, we are at the third place. The report compares the business environment in various economies across 10 indicators. Hong Kong is outstanding in terms of dealing with construction permits, paying taxes, getting electricity, which is very important, and starting a business. You can feel how easy is starting your business here, as everything around you is very user-friendly, and you can find business facilitation measures like you just only need to raise your hand. One of the very amazing and attractive factors for you choosing Hong Kong is tax. You need to take care of the profit tax only during your business, which is very simple. And our profit tax rate is just 16.5% only, which is very low. In order to further lower our tax, the Hong Kong government has implemented two-tier profit tax rate regime currently. As I said, VAT, GST, capital gain tax, and import and export tax, and so on. So we don't find them in Hong Kong. Some people and corporates may receive dividend interest in some countries. You may need to calculate and pay tax for the dividend income. However, you don't need to pay tax for dividend in Hong Kong. About foreign ownership restriction, there is absolutely no restriction on nationality of shareholder and director when you are setting up a company in Hong Kong. Okay. Though there are different types of legal entity available in Hong Kong, as mentioned, company limited by shares is the most common entity for doing business in terms of nationality, transparency, liability, etc. If you are not going to run a business for the purpose of profit making, we will usually suggest you to set up a company limited by guarantee because it doesn't have shares. It means that you are not sharing profit among shareholders. If you are going to be listing in Hong Kong stock market, then you need to set up a public company. But definitely, if you have incorporated an overseas company, maybe Japan, Singapore, and somewhere else in the world, and then you need to register this company as a non-Hong Kong company in Hong Kong first, and then you can go listing. The types of Hong Kong companies is very simple and straightforward. Though there are a few types of company, their purpose and function are really distinctive. Yet, no matter which type you pick, you can enjoy many advantages, privileges, and convenience during your business. I think in every country, you should be able to find the minimum requirements for setting up a company. In Hong Kong, you will be able to find what is the meaning and definition of minimum. About the share capital, no, we don't have minimum requirement of the share capital, but to be honest, it's correct and wrong. Because in fact, you need to have at least one share, and the paid up share capital can be just only one Hong Kong $1. Though we don't have par value of shares, if you set it as a 1 cent or 10 cents, it seems real, right? One of the more frequent questions we have been asked is that, do we need to have a local director? I think it seems that I saw the same question in the question panel. Okay, the answer is no. We need to disclose the nationality of the director, but in fact, no any restriction on the nationality. It can be any country you name in the world. There must be at least one individual director. It means that it must be a natural person. After having an individual director, you can appoint a corporate director. Hong Kong is running a common law system which is very comprehensive and shareholder oriented. Yeah. No matter you are an individual director or a corporate director, you are acting as an agent of the shareholder, and you are having the same responsibility and liabilities under the Hong Kong laws. Let's go for shareholder. There must be at least one shareholder, the same as a director. There's no any restriction on nationality of shareholder. It can be any country you name in the world. And it can either an individual or a corporate entity. For some clients, they may choose not to use an individual as a shareholder due to taxation issue. Though our tax system is quite simple, their country may keep imposing tax liability on them. But no worry, at least in Hong Kong, your company is earning money, you want to enjoy the fruit of results and take the profit out of the company by dividend. No, you don't need to pay tax for it in Hong Kong. It's required by law, but every company must have its registered office address inside Hong Kong. In the past, actually, the registered office must not be a residential address. However, it's currently allowed to use a residential address because some companies are really running their business at home. For example, online trading, purchases agent. The last but not the least, every company. Oh, sorry, maybe speak next. Over the past. Every company must have at least one company secretary. The company secretary can be a company having a Hong Kong address or a Hong Kong resident. Since 2018, the company secretary must obtain the trust or company service provider license. We call it TCSP license in order to enhance the regulations. About the Hong Kong company regulatory compliance, actually there are two main regulators in Hong Kong. Their functions are mainly monitoring the statutory records and receiving statutory documents from the company. We as a company secretary will handle your company from its birth to death and everything when it's alive. We should inform you of all the filing deadlines and preparing all the relevant documents from any return to annual general meeting, from renewal of business registration to filing of the profit tax return. And we also act as a designated representative for taking care of your significant controller register carefully. Otherwise, you will be prosecuted and summoned to the court. In practice, you need to take care of many renewal and filing deadlines and paying, for example, statutory fees to the different regulators, maintaining statutory records for inspection from time to time, receiving notices from the different departments, filing different tax returns for your company and your staff or yourself. Therefore, an experienced company secretary is very essential to every company. So I will advise you, please keep a good communication with your company secretary from time to time. Otherwise, you are running risk during your business. You will be confident if you have a responsive company secretary. Okay, about the Hong Kong corporate tax return requirement. The IRD is the tax department in Hong Kong. Normally issues the corporate tax return to a company 18 months after its incorporation. The reason why issuing tax return after 18 months is because the first audit report must not cover more than 18 months. Therefore, in case your company has accessible profit, then the IRD will keep issuing tax return to your company around April of every year. Then you need to file the tax return within 1 month, together with the auditor report with the IRD before the deadline. Otherwise, a late penalty will be imposed to your company, and you will be therefore prosecuted and also summoned to the court, which is very serious. And in case you have appointed a tax representative, you are eligible to apply for an extension in filing the tax return. So many clients really they forgot to file the profit tax return, and then it causes the penalty to their company or to themselves personally. And after a period of running your business, you should start to look for engage an auditor. You can set any date in a year as a financial year end date of your company. In Hong Kong, it's normally 31st March or 31st December. As a private company, your auditor report is not available for public review, and it's totally private. But it must be presented to the shareholders at annual general meeting within 9 months after its financial year end date. You may consult your professional auditor about the audit as early as possible and the standard of the report to be adopted. Yeah, because in Hong Kong there are quite some standards of the auditor report like SME and full GAAP. Yeah. But actually, it all depends on your decision and your scale of your business and your company, and to see if any advantages by adopting this kind of standard. So I think you should consult your auditor as early as possible, as what I said. Yeah. Okay, that's all for our PowerPoint and presentation. We hope our presentation can help you understand more about Hong Kong and know how to start your business. And now we are going to the Q&A session, and it seems that there are many questions about Hong Kong business. Maybe let's see which question to pick up. Okay.
I saw a few questions asked about the protest riots in Hong Kong. I know many of you will be interested in knowing more about that, but I will say the worst has been over, and this is not uncommon to find such protests demonstrations all over the world. You see what US has been happening recently. We saw France has saw this demonstration protest for many weeks. So I would say, although no one anticipates such situation in Hong Kong, as I said, the worst has been over, and we are the Hong Kong people are now going back to rational, and the government has doing a lot of things to calm down. So I would say such unrational situation will not be happen again. I saw another question about the national security law. Okay, whether it will impact the business environment in Hong Kong. I would say once it is a net, definitely there will be some impact, because many people, many businessmen will not feel comfortable and will not know how to prevent themselves from violating this law. But since nowadays it is just in the discussion period, we have no idea and no information on how it will be written. So I would say the government of Hong Kong, the central government in China, the legislature in Hong Kong, they will find a solution. They will find a balance for Hong Kong. They will not ruin the Hong Kong situation. What they want is to have a stable environment. So I would say there will be a final solution on this. Okay. I saw another question about what kind of business that Hong Kong is need currently. I would say because of the significantly drop of rental and property price, you can consider investing in Hong Kong properties and retail. You will find a lot of vacant shops, vacant property with very attractive rental. So you can consider that. But actually in Hong Kong, as I said previously in my slide, the 4 key industries in Hong Kong is still financial services, tourism, trading, and logistics. You will not come to Hong Kong for manufacturing. That's why I would say it is still the 4 key industry in Hong Kong. It will be most beneficial. What other business can be considered? May consider technology, biotech, as I mentioned in my slide. The IPO market, the stock exchange of Hong Kong welcome most of these companies to list in Hong Kong. Actually, a lot of technology company, big technology company, are considering to list in Hong Kong. Guy, you can answer the other question.
Yeah. I saw a question. Yeah. Okay. One question is asking what are the issues and challenges in setting up a company in Hong Kong? Location and high price, office building, rental, etc. Actually, I think for incorporating a company in Hong Kong is very easy, as what I said about according to our presentation and the PowerPoint, and then because of the cost is very competitive, I think in Hong Kong, maybe. But I think the challenges is about maybe a bank account, because actually you need a bank account to receive or to pay the money to others, right? And then so it's very I would say, to be honest, it's very difficult to open a bank account in Hong Kong, especially for the foreigner, for other countries people. Yeah, but I think the issue is that if you can provide very informative documents and the whole picture of your business, and then because you need to explain to the bank and then to convince them that you're really running your real business and it's not about AML, it's not fake, then is actually I think is quite the successful rate is still quite high in Hong Kong for open a bank account. And then but the rental actually, in fact, it depends. Yeah, because I think because maybe at the beginning to see if you really need to have office, physical office, or actually you just need to have a virtual office, or even just need to have a registered office address. And then because if you are needing if you need the registered office address, then actually we can provide to you, and then you can run your business maybe online or even in overseas. Yeah, because actually in Hong Kong you don't need to have a physical office address in Hong Kong, because there's no really inspector to inspect your company to see is it really this company exists, right? So the high office building rental, it depends and the location really, yeah, because to see what is the scale and the stages of your business, yeah. But if you need, I can share you some information about the rental in Hong Kong, and then maybe some areas is very attractive to businessmen, yeah, especially in the initial stage, right? Yeah. And the one of the problem is that the visa, as I said, yeah, because it depends how frequency you are coming in Hong Kong, you enter in Hong Kong, and then because to be honest, if you are just having a simple meeting once or twice a year in Hong Kong, definitely you don't need to have a Hong Kong visa, yeah, because you can enter Hong Kong with a traveling visa, and then it's definitely yes. But if you are going to enter Hong Kong very frequently, maybe 5 to 6 times, and after that, the immigration department they will question you what is your purpose, and because they would very curious how you love in Hong Kong, how you love Hong Kong, right? And then you need to come to Hong Kong so many times, yeah. So I would say if it is the case, I will suggest you to apply for a visa for coming to Hong Kong, yeah, and also for your staff, yeah, because of I think unless you are hiring locals, all your staff are local. Otherwise, you need to apply for a visa for your maybe the senior management from overseas, because you may need to seek on some senior management from overseas to Hong Kong, right? To run and to manage your business, to manage your company, and then to manage your staff in Hong Kong, right? Yeah, which is very important, I think, in practice. Yeah. And then let's see.
Okay.
More questions.
I saw a question asking about the comparison between Hong Kong and Singapore tax rate. In Singapore, there are some tax incentives. I would say in Hong Kong there is no tax incentives available. I agree that Singapore is another very attractive cities for in terms of tax rate tax system. But Hong Kong still have its advantages. Okay, as I mentioned about the two-tier tax rate, the first tier is just 8.25%. The other advantage in Hong Kong is Hong Kong is territorial basis in charging tax for those profit sourced not from Hong Kong will be tax exempt. I'll give you just an example. For a foreigner owning a company in Hong Kong, doing trading business outside of Hong Kong, no matter how much they earn, 1 million, 10 million, they will be tax-free. Once they will grant exemption from the tax department, ILD, they pay no tax in Hong Kong. Another advantage is Hong Kong is very easy. Hong Kong has a lot of deduction available for the company to ask to claim for. Once you issue your audit report, your deduction for those expenses, costs, etc., will be accounted for. So the actual tax is on your net profit. I saw another follow-up question about the protects the ongoing social activities in Hong Kong. As I said, the worst has been over. We still saw some small-scale protests in Hong Kong recently. I will say it will not affect the economy in Hong Kong. So I'm still confident that Hong Kong can sustain its economic growth. The other point is, compared to other countries' protest demonstration, you can see that in Hong Kong, those demonstrations are mostly peaceful, mostly done in a peaceful way. We did saw some damages to shops, to some buildings, but not like the other countries. We didn't see robbery. That's a very strange situation. Those people, although they destroy the shop, they did not go into the shop for robbery. They didn't take the properties for their own good. So it is another comfort to you that the protest was done in a peaceful way. That's why I'm still confident that the economic growth in Hong Kong can be sustained.
Yeah, maybe can I take up a question? How likely will Hong Kong business relocate to other countries due to the uncertainty or the political situation in Hong Kong? I would say come and go is very common in the business world, right? It happens in the world, every country, and not only Hong Kong. Because I can see, or you can also see that there are many giant listed companies coming in Hong Kong for listing, just like Alibaba. They have been listing in Hong Kong since last December, and then JD, and they are going to be listing in maybe next week. I've forgotten. And then so you can see many people keep saying that how is the political or the security law impacting Hong Kong, especially the stock market and the financial market. But I think if Hong Kong is really in dangerous in the financial market, or the outflow of the cash going out from Hong Kong to other countries, and then I don't think this giant company will keep looking for listing in Hong Kong, right? So maybe I think people consider maybe to be well prepared is very important in every moment. But I think not only us, but everyone in Hong Kong is very still optimistic in our futures, I think. Yeah.
I will answer the last question regarding Hong Kong dollar. I'm still confident that Hong Kong dollar will not be unpacked. In Hong Kong, our government is very rich. We didn't borrow any money. All Hong Kong dollar notes issue are supported by US dollar that the government hold. So I'm not worried about Hong Kong dollar will be unpacked with US dollar. For those questions that we cannot answer on this section, we will answer you by email.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
everyone for joining in today. Tomorrow we'll be exploring Vietnam's market, so you may join us tomorrow as well. Thank you and see you. Bye bye.
See you later. Bye bye.